For this problem, we are given a line, and the question asks, what is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to line M and passes through the point 3, 2? So for this problem, we talked about parallel and perpendicular lines towards the beginning of the year. And in order to go over just a few things that are important with this, sorry about that. In order to go over a few things that are important for this, then we need to think about what it means to have parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So we're going to do a few notes over here to the side. Remember that this stands for parallel, and with parallel lines you have the same slope. If they are perpendicular, which is abbreviated like this symbol, that means that you would have opposite reciprocal slope, which I'm going to abbreviate opposite reciprocal. So with this problem, in order to identify your slope is your rise over run. And so they do give us 2 points right here, and so we can use those points in order to determine it. There's also an equation for slope where you have the difference of your y's over the difference of your x's. But for rise over run, since you're given a figure, that one's just a little bit easier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we use rise over run for our slope, then the rise part, we are going down 5. If it's down, it's negative, so we're at a -5 here. Run means how far left or right. We're going to the right 2, so -5 over 2. That means that this is the slope of this line. If we want opposite reciprocal, opposite means it changes its sign, so we're going to have a positive number. Reciprocal means that you flip your fraction 2/5. So we want to write an equation where our slope is 2/5 and it goes through this point. There is a formula that we talked about also towards the beginning of the year, that is y minus y of 1 equals mx minus x of 1. This is called the point slope form, which hopefully you learned in algebra. May have been a while since you've seen it though, so this is the point slope form, and what we can do is we can plug in the point that we have. So here would be our y of 1. So y minus 2, m stands for slope, so our slope that we're going to use is the perpendicular one for 2/5. X minus, and then our x of 1 is a 3. Now, in order to be able to write this, we need to solve for y. So for this one, we can multiply by the 2/5. Y minus 2 is equal to 2/5 x minus, and then if we have 2/5 times a 3, that would be 6 over 5. And then we can add 2 to both sides. Our final equation should be y is equal to 2/5 x, and then if we want to add 2, you have a -6/5 plus, if we have 2 and we want to put that would be like 2 over 1. But if we need our denominator to be 5, that would be like 10 over 5. Just multiplying the top and the bottom by 10. And then you can simplify. -6 plus 10 would actually give you a plus 4/5. And this could be our final answer. You could use the calculator in order to double check to make sure that this is what you would get if you simplify it. When you do put it in here, you can use, since it took the writing off, I didn't have it written down separate, but you would go ahead and use these fractions. So we had, what, 2/5. You need to go back, click down here to put the 5 in here. And you want to be very careful to make sure that you actually get it in there. Sometimes it can be stubborn. There we go. I had to click it with my mouse. And then click outside of the fraction to put the x. And then we have plus 4/5, I believe it was. So plus another fraction, 4. and then click underneath of it 45. And this would be your equation. You could also graph it in the calculator just to make sure that you have the right one as well. But keep in mind, if you do want to graph on the calculator, you would have to find the full equation to this, because that way, you would want to make sure, or you could just see what it looks like on here. 4/5 would be about right here. If your slope is 2/5, if you go down 2 and back 5, you see that it will kind of go this direction. And so you're at least in the right track in order to kind of check over your work a little bit. So some things to keep in mind with this problem is that parallel line, same slope, perpendicular, opposite reciprocal. This is slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. We also use the point slope form, which is the y minus y of 1 equals m times x minus x of 1. So all of those pieces of information were really important to trying to solve this, and if you have any questions or want any additional examples using them, please let me know.